everyone, my name is Serafi and I'm happy to meet you. And today we're going to talk about the leaks for the skills as well as the level up rewards for Sherry. Sherry is unlockable today, which is very interesting. So I'm going to get through this quickly so that I can actually play the game. So we've got 4R Dreams, which is one of her level up cards. Tribute one warrior monster you control. Target one warrior monster you control. It cannot be destroyed by battle while face up on the field forever. That's interesting. You can use that on Gokis. Is that good? Yeah, Gokis not being able to be destroyed by battle is pretty good. It's also good in Amazons, which is funny. So, yeah, Amazons and Gokis need the support, and this is a decent card for them. Chain Close. When a card on the field is destroyed by a battle or card effect, your opponent can activate any spells or traps this turn. Neither player can activate cards and effects in response to this card's activation. This card is already in the game, but it's cool that people who did not get this card before can get it now. Soulbinding Gate. I am shocked that this card is going to be coming to the game as a free card. So field spell, to activate this card, you must control no monsters. A set spell or trap card you control must have been destroyed by a card effect this turn, either player's card effect. During the main phase, if exactly one monster with less attack than your life points is summoned and you have a zone in your graveyard, destroy that monster. If you do, both players take 400 damage, but you take it first. So that's interesting, kind of toxic. You just pop cards your opponent controls over and over again. This is not once per turn. You do have to have a zone in your graveyard, but there's a skill that sets zone for you, so I guess this is what the skill is for, but just pop your opponent's cards forever. I imagine that Bob is going to play this with Paleozoics, and that is the only time this card is going to see any play, and that's going to be very annoying. And lastly, we have Imitation. Target one token in the monster zone, destroy it. If you do, special summon a mass token in your opponent's side of the field with the same attack points, then inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its attack points. Sherry is the person who used Imitation originally, so Imitation came to the game before Sherry came into the game. It's been in the game for a while. People are using it in FTK. So if you didn't get it before, you can get it now, and FTK people. Sherry also has 3 Fleur de Vertiges, which is a normal trap card with the following effect. When a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field and a face-up field spell is on the field, target one of them and banish it. So if your opponent special summons a monster to the field while there's a field spell, you can target one of those monsters and banish it. This is a card that only Sherry has. It's not like a card that we can collect. It's just a card that the character has that they can use on you, which is cool. Then for the other leaks, we've got the skills. First of all, Dark Lord Nurse Reficule is coming to the game. Any effect that would make your opponent gain life points inflicts the same amount of damage to them instead, so Nurse Burn is happening. If you don't like Nurse Burn, deal with it. This is funny. And of course, the effect is not halved, so Pure Burn, always a good option. You can also search this card with Dark Lord cards, so you don't have to play the Dark Lord deck to just play the Dark Lord card that draws a Dark Lord, then you just play Nurse Burn. Okay, the Power of Hope. At the beginning of your first turn, play 1 Stardust Dragon and Formula Synchron, then add 1 Shooting Star Dragon and 1 Shooting Quasar Dragon to your extra deck. I assume this is a event skill. Is it good? Yeah. The Revolution is nigh. The second effect can be used once per duel. At start of duel, add 1 Chevalier de Fleur to your extra deck and can be used before your normal draw if your life points are at 3,000 or below. One of the cards you draw this turn will be Floor Synchron from your deck. Okay, so this is like her level 1 skill. Is adding Chevalier de Fleur to your extra deck good? No, it's a rare. So, and it's in her starter deck as well. Okay, that's cool. It was in her starter deck. No, this card is terrible. Like, this skill is terrible. Like, why would you have a skill to draw her if you already have her in the deck? That's not good. Noble White Lily. This skill can be used once per duel. Can be used if your opponent controls a monster and you control Chevalier de Fleur. Add 1 Baronne de Fleur to your extra deck. Sweet. Definitely play this. Graceful Blade. The skill can be used once per turn. On the turn you use the skill, you cannot special summon monsters, excluding special summons for the extra deck. Any monsters except Synchron Tuners and Noble Knights with 800 attack points. Send 1 Spear Holder from your hand to the graveyard. Set Polymerization from outside your deck. Send 1 Fleur Synchron from outside your deck to the graveyard. Then you can add 1 Noble Knight monster with 800 attack or Fleurette de Fleur from your deck to your graveyard to your hand. So people are assuming this is the skill that people are going to play with this. I don't see it. It requires you to be holding Spear Holder. If you don't have Spear Holder in your hand, you can't use the skill at all. So you can search Spear Holder, but if you do, then just play it. I don't know. I don't think this is good. I don't. Your starter is Horse of the Floral Knights. So your whole deck revolves around Horse of the Floral Knights. This card Going to your graveyard to draw the floor doesn't help you at all, so yeah, I know. I don't see this skill being that good. I mean, maybe people are going to be able to add Spear Holder more frequently than I think they are, but I don't think they are. I think that you're going to be bricking, you're not going to have Spear Holder, and if you can't use your skill, then what good is it? Card of Origin, Zone. At the beginning of your first turn, set one zone from outside your deck to the field, and we can activate the effects of Zone this turn, so this will let you use your field spell that you get from leveling up. If you want to play that, then you play the skill. Otherwise, don't use it. Goki's coming back. You can use each of the skills' first and second effects once per turn if your deck, excluding the extra deck, contains 9 or more Goki monsters. During your main phase, select one Goki monster on your field or in your graveyard and gain life points equal to its original attack points. That's great. So Master Ogre has 2,800 attack points, so you gain 2,800. Good enough. Can be used if your opponent controls a monster you control no monsters. Add one non-linked Goki monster from your graveyard to your hand, then shuffle one card from your hand to your deck. This effect, the drawback of this effect is not that bad since Goki monsters can draw whatever they want. And being able to get Super X back specifically so you can continue your turn is pretty nice. So, yeah, I like this. This is going to be the Goki skill moving forward, and that's perfect. Limiter Removal Regulator Open. Fantastic name for a TG skill. You can only use the second and third effects once per duel. At the start of the duel, add 6 TG monsters to your extra deck. During this duel, you cannot normal special summon monsters, and you cannot activate the effects of level 7 or higher monsters during your opponent's turn except TG monsters. Checking real quick to see if this is in the lifetime events already. It is not. Okay, so we don't know which monsters are being added to the extra deck. There is Set Delta Excel, which adds 5 to the extra deck, but this is absurd. We'll have to see which monsters get added. If this adds Over Dragnar and Mighty Striker and Glaive Blaster, then okay, now we're cooking. But if it doesn't, then I don't know what you're really going to do with this. Reveal one level 3 or lower Tech Genius monster in your hand. Add one limiter removal from your deck to your hand. Oh, limiter removal is limited to 3. I didn't see that. Limit 3 on limiter removal. I mean, if you can run it at 1, then that's pretty decent. I don't really know that you would play any limit 3 cards for TGs, and there are not any limit 3 cards currently for them, so I don't see that as being too big of a deal. During your main phase, play one TG Respiro Dragonfly from outside your deck to your field to face down defense position. Its battle position can be changed. That's pretty good. So yeah, this skill is going to be really good. Use whichever TG monsters you need with your limiter removal, and you go into probably your Halberd Cannon, and good enough. Neostorm Exceed. You can use this skill's second effect once per duel. You cannot special summon except monsters from the extra deck and Light, Dark, and Wind Cyberse monsters. If you control a Cyberse Link monster, send one Firewall Dragon from your extra deck to the graveyard. Then you can apply the following effect: shuffle one card from your hand or field to your deck, then play one Firewall Guardian from your deck to your field and face down defense position. Its battle can be changed. Okay. So, you get your Firewall Guardian from your deck to the field, then you can send Firewall Dragon from your extra deck to the graveyard, you summon another level 4, then you Exceed into Firewall Exceed Dragon, and you revive your Firewall Dragon, and you kill your opponent. Shooting Star Road TGEX. This skill's second effect can be used once per turn and twice per duel. At the start of the duel, set one Starlight Junction from your deck to your field, send one Junk Converter from your deck to your graveyard, so that means you have to play Starlight Junction and Junk Converter, but you don't have to draw them. During this duel, you cannot special summon any monsters except Junk monsters, Synchron monsters, and Light or Wind Synchron monsters with 2,500, 3,300, or 4,000 attack points. If the only monster you control is one Stardust Dragon or one level 10 Synchron monster, play one Formula Synchron or one Tech Genius Respiro Dragonfly from outside of your deck to your field and face up defense position. So, Respiro Dragonfly is supposed to take your Shooting Star Dragon and go into Stardust and Formula Synchron, and then Respiro Dragonfly is the other level 2, so that you can go Formula Synchron, Stardust, and Respiro Dragonfly into Quasar, which is pretty decent. And then turn 1, you're just going to make Stardust Dragon, and then Formula Synchron with Stardust Dragon goes into Shooting Star Dragon TX. So TX stays out for 1 turn, you live, then during your turn, you turn off with Respiro Dragonfly, you go into Quasar, and you kill your opponent. This is pretty straightforward. As long as you have Junk Synchron, you have the full combo. Is this good? Yeah. Yusei's skills are so cut and dry, it's ridiculous. And they just keep basically releasing better and better versions of the same skill. This is basically just Shooting Star Road, but you can also make Quasar and TG Star Dragon. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with this. Spellcaster's Exchange. Twice per duel at the start of your main phase 1, place 1 level 5 or higher spellcaster monster from your hand to the bottom of your deck and draw a card. This is really good. This is for the Sage de Fleur, Sorcerer de Fleur deck, which is probably going to be a separate deck than the Noble Knights, Floral Knights deck. But, you know, that deck is going to be pretty good, and this card will be good. This skill will be good in it. There doesn't appear to be any restrictions on your extra deck, so you can play a bunch of rank 8s, which is what you want. So play this deck, it's going to be good. Synchro Storm Rays. The skill can be used if your extra deck contains a Wind Synchro monster. Gain 1,500 life points at the start of the duel, and once per turn during your main phase, choose one Synchro monster on your field. It gains 300 attack until the end of the turn. Then it gains an additional 300 attack until the end of the turn if there's a Wind monster on your field or in your graveyard. So you gain 1,500 life points, and then each turn your Synchro monsters that are Wind gain 600 extra attack points until the end of the turn. Is that good? I mean, it's better than Life Point Boost Alpha. So if you're going to play Wind Synchro monsters and you want Life Point Boost Alpha, get this card instead. Get the skill instead. It's pretty good. Draw Sense Tuner. The skill can be used if your extra deck contains 9 or more monsters. Draw Sense Tuner. The skill can be used if your deck contains 9 or more monsters. It can be used before your normal draw. Each time your life points decrease by 1,000, one of your cards from your normal draw will be a random tuner monster from your deck. This skill should have been in the game from the start of 5Ds. It's fantastic. Light and Dark Reptile type. You can use the skill second effect once per duel. You cannot special summon monsters except special summons from the extra deck. Any monsters except reptiles. That's annoying. Shuffle one light or dark monster from your hand to your deck, then add one light or dark reptile monster with the same level and a different attribute from your deck to your hand. Ooh, you have to shuffle a card? I didn't know that. That makes this skill way worse. Yeah, no. Do not want. This is bad. Domain of the Gladiator Beast. You can use the skill second effect once per duel if your deck, excluding extra deck, contains 8 or more Gladiator Beast monsters. You cannot special summon except special summons from the extra deck. Any monsters except Gladiator Beasts and Beasts. That's fine, you don't need to special summon anything else. Reveal one Gladiator Beast monster in your hand. Place one Gladiator Rejection from your deck, graveyard, or among your banished cones on your field face down. Okay, so you only need to play... Okay, so this skill makes it so that you only need to play one Rejection. Is that good? Yeah. That's not going to make Gladiator Beast playable, but it is a skill that Gladiator Beast can play, which is better than not having a skill. So good luck, Gladiator Beast players. I hope that you pull something out with this. Sky Striker Mobilize Contact. This skill can be used if your deck does not contain Sky Striker Mobilize Engage. At the start of the duel, add 2 engages to your deck and one of each of the 4 different kinds of Sky Striker Ace Link monsters not already in your extra deck. During this duel, you cannot normal summon or special summon any monsters except for Sky Striker monsters, excluding special summons from the extra deck and the opponent's graveyard. Okay, so I don't know if you guys noticed in my other video, but we did not get very many Sky Striker monsters. So we have Rei, we have Shizuku, and then this skill lets us special summon Kagari, Hayate, and Kaina. It's going to add these 3. So Hayate lets you attack directly, and then after it attacks, you can send one Sky Striker card from your deck to your graveyard, which is pretty decent. Kagari lets you return a Sky Striker spell in your graveyard to your hand. And Kaina, if it's special summon, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, and it cannot attack until the end of your opponent's turn. So you special summon Kaina if Rei is summoned to your field during your opponent's turn after your Sky Striker Ace monster was sent to the graveyard. And apparently Widow Anchor is limit 2 as a special set. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. You'll play this skill definitely because, well, because you don't have any extra deck monsters without the skill. That's interesting. You know, this is just like the Shadal deck where you literally can't play the deck without the skill. I like that because Sky Strikers shouldn't have nice things. They should suffer. Lastly, we have Fortress Bound to Shadow. At the beginning of the duel, add Pendulum Zones to your field. Can be activated during the end phase on the turn. You tribute summon to a Cleave monster face up, gain 800 life points for each monster you use as tribute for the tribute summon this turn. And it's can be used infinite times. Fortress Bound to Shadow is a cool name for the skill. Again, if you didn't see my other video, I think Klee is going to be insane. We got towers, we got all the tower support we needed, and we have like all the pendulum cards already. So if you want to play Klees, now is the time. I'm going to make a Klee video. So definitely play this deck and use the skill. It's great. All right, that's it. Thank you very much for coming out. My name is Sarafi. I was thrilled to have you all with me.